Hi, year two. This is our lesson, and we're going to be looking today at Greta Thunberg. And we've already discussed her a little bit in the classroom, and we know that she was fighting for climate change, wasn't she? And we had a little look at what climate change is and what a climate is. We said we were going to um, compare the climate in Africa to the climate in Antarctica. So we're going to use those two continents, didn't we, and to compare those climates, so the temperature of those countries and how they change throughout the year. So we're going to be doing a bit more of that when we come into the classroom. But what I thought might be a really good idea now is I'm going to just show you some books that we've got. So we already had this one in the classroom, didn't we? But Mrs. Simpson has got some new books. So we've got here Climate Rebels. So this one here is all about people that were fighting for climate change. They were fighting. We've got Old Enough to Save the Planet. So inspired by real life children taking action against climate change. Oh, this will be a good book for us to share in the classroom because I think we are old enough to make a difference. So it says here, calling all activists. Hi, I'm Anna. I started fighting to protect the environment when I was 12 years old, and since then I have worked with thousands of children all over the world through my school climate strike organisation. It can feel very scary when you learn about the climate crisis. It's normal to feel helpless and unsure of how to act, but you have the right to fight for your future and the power to do something about it. All it takes is one person to start trying. So be inspired by the children in this book who have done just that. You don't need to wait until tomorrow. You are strong, important, and smart. You can start today. Anna Taylor, the leader of the UK Student Climate Network. And it's got in here all different people who have been fighting for climate change. There's lots of different children here, so this will be a really good book for you to look at when we come back into school. But for now, we are going to look at this one here. Our key person, our famous person that we're going to be looking at is Greta Thunberg. And I'm going to read you some of this book, okay? Greta was a little Swedish girl who learned from her parents to turn off the lights, not to waste water, and never throw out food. 3 simple lessons for being kind to nature that most grown-ups still haven't quite learnt yet. She was very proud of her great-granduncle, Svante, a brilliant scientist who 100 years before Greta was born made an alarming discovery. The planet was warming up and humans were the ones that were responsible for it. But even though adults have known this for a long time, not much has been done to change it. Every day, millions of tons of toxic gases are thrown into the air. Greta wondered what could be left of the planet when she grew up. At school, she watched a film about climate change. Most students were worried about polar bears losing their homes because of the North Pole melting, because that's the impact on climate change might affect Antarctica, and it might mean that polar bears don't have places to live because everywhere's melting. Once the film was over, everyone forgot about it. Everyone except Greta. She felt so hopeless about the future that she stopped talking. Doctors said she had selective mutism and Asperger's syndrome, which meant she would only speak and pay attention to what was really important to her. Just stop speaking. Some may have thought that these were 2 terrible conditions, but they ended up becoming Greta's greatest powers. They helped her to stick to her promise to do everything she could to slow down the planet's warming. Greta started by convincing her parents to give up air travel and stop eating meat. But there were dozens of other little things that she could do. She knew that she couldn't stand up for something without walking the walk. So that's what she did. She started telling her parents to not travel on aeroplanes. She started saying that we needed to plant a tree, we needed to eat more vegetables, we needed to avoid plastic things, we needed to go on a bike to work and school, we needed to recycle things. She had done her homework, but it wasn't enough. To stop global warming, politicians had to do theirs too. One day, listen to this, instead of going to school, Greta decided to sit quietly in front of the Swedish parliament, holding a sign. This is a sign that she wrote in Swedish, and I'll tell you what it says. Not many people noticed her at first, so she's had things like, no more excuses, there is no planet B, wake up, save our future. She did a strike. I'm going to stop this book here. No, I'm not. I'm going to carry on. More and more children joined in with this strike and trying to make a difference to the planet. It's time for children to wake up the adults. Soon, all over the world, thousands of students started skipping school to protest outside of their city halls, fighting for the future of the next generation. School strike for climate. All over the world, so these are all in different languages. People striked all over the world to make a difference for climate change. Inspired by Greta's story, millions of people from Melbourne, which is in Australia, to San Francisco flooded the streets in the first world strike against global warming. It was the biggest environmental protest ever. She crossed the ocean on a wind and solar powered boat to speak in front of world leaders. In the name of all children, Greta asked people in power to stop making up excuses and start acting before it's too late. What started with just one girl with a handmade sign became a movement that includes us all, because global warming is the greatest challenge humanity will ever face, but Greta is no longer alone. Now, there are some more pages of that book, but I am going to stop there because what I thought it would be a really good idea for us to do, because we're not at school, maybe we could pretend we're not at school because we are striking. We are refusing. I know we've been told to not go to school, but you're going to pretend that we're refusing to go to school because we want people to listen to us. We want people to make a difference to our planet. So what your job is going to be today is you can have a little research into who Greta Thunberg is, again, have a look at that and see if you could make a poster for a school strike. What could we do to help the environment? So she's got some ideas here. Plant a tree. That will help with more oxygen in the planet. It will help for oxygen. It will give animals homes to live in. Eat more vegetables. Ride your bike to school or walk to school. Don't go in the car because the car engines are polluting the planet. Avoid plastic and recycle things that you use. Why don't we make a poster today and say, we are striking, school strike, save our planet, walk to school, ride to school. There's one, don't eat meat, plant more trees. What else could you do? Recycle things. That also helps the environment. So I thought that we could pretend we're not at school because we're striking. We want people to hear what year 2 have got to say about this in the environment, okay? So that is going to be your job today, and we're going to be looking more at this when we come back to school. But I thought it might be quite a fun activity for you to be doing at home today. Okay. Have a lovely day, year 2, and I cannot wait to see what you do.